Okay, the regular meeting of the Underhill Energy Committee, we have a quorum. Steve, will you be able to do your normal magic with
Yeah, I'm there.
okay, you're there. Now, has everybody got the minutes up in front of them so they can see them? Mine's just a little window, but I'm the one doing the sharing, so I don't know.
Yep, mine's good.
Ah, Graham is here also. Okay, good. So if you can see what's going on. So I call this meeting to order at 5:10 p.m. And Steve will be taking notes for the agenda. We are meeting under the provisions of Vermont law that allow us to meet by remotely for another year yet, and it sounds like everyone continues to want to do that. I guess the first question is, do we have any adjustments to the agenda? Now, before I say that, I should say that, oops, we lost Graham, but that's all right. I guess he'll come back. That Nick Atherton has said he would be here. I had originally told him that I would be trying to get him on early, very early on. He wants to speak to the bikes and bike kind of provisions for our outreach program. But because Lori thought she would not be able to make it until 5:30, and I knew of her interest in bikes, I asked if we could put that off until 5:30. But other than I could change that, especially now that Lori is here. So but are there any other suggested adjustments to the agenda that we have?
Just a quick question for Lori. Your last name is spelled Demaine?
Yep.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. So public participants, I understand Nick will be coming later. Lori is for the moment a public participant. Lori, I should, so you probably are not aware of it. The Energy Committee has established the position of member emeritus for particular members that have been with us before, who continue to participate but are not formal members. In this particular case, we have two of them with us. Peter Bennett and Jerry Adams are here also. So they can join in and participate, but they are not voting members. So let's see, okay, Graham is back. So I guess we're got a full complement here or something like that. So that said, I would open it up for public comments. Lori, I don't know. I guess I was going to introduce you under committee operations because I put down a possible new member. But since you are public, a member of the public, I don't know if you would care to introduce yourself. I did receive an email from Lori who said she was interested in energy issues. I am down on my knees begging her to join us, but she doesn't know that yet. But nonetheless, I was wondering if you could maybe just take a minute and introduce yourself and tell people who you are and so on.
Great. Yeah, thanks. So my name's Lori Main. I moved to Underhill basically during Memorial Day weekend. So I was living in Burlington, Vermont. Before that, I was in the Boston area. The company I work for, it's called the Center for Sustainable Energy. So we do a lot of different things, but specifically I work in the U.S. Transportation Department. So I manage the EV programs and e-bike programs for states. So right now we're currently working on the Connecticut e-bike program, incentive program, and then the second iteration of the Vermont e-bike program, which is launching soon as well. So yeah, I've been there for about 5 years. I have a master's in sustainability and environment management from Harvard Extension. And yeah, I've just always been interested in energy issues and yeah, thinking, this would be a good group for me to plug into.
Wow.
Thank you.
What can I say? Boy, that sounds fantastic.
Lori,
perhaps we
for-profit company?
The Center for Sustainable Energy?
Yes.
Yeah. What was the question?
Is that a for-profit company or is it a nonprofit?
We're a nonprofit, yeah. We're based in San Diego, but we have people all over the country at this point. And, we run the CVRP program for California, which is like the largest incentive program, but I think it's ending soon. And we do also like EV charging infrastructure. I worked on a Department of Energy contract too as well for EV charging for multi-unit dwellings. We created a toolkit that's online now for homeowners and HOAs to kind of like help them getting charging installed in multi-unit dwellings. So we do a bunch of stuff. We do solar programs.
Great.
Sounds like we have a lot to talk about. If people don't mind, perhaps we could introduce ourselves to Lori as well. I will start. My name is Michael Oman. I live in Underhill. I've lived here since the mid-90s. I am technically retired, although my wife says the only thing retired about me is my income. Before I retired, I was a transportation planning consultant and transportation planning director for the RPC for a number of years. So I've been in community planning and that sort of thing for a while. I also came from the Boston area. I moved here 30 years ago now, something like that. And have lived here since mid-90s. Who else would like to pick up and say something?
I will. I'm Steve Webster. I live at the end of Krug Road in Underhill Center. I started working on energy issues as an activist back on Seabrook days, so back in the late 70s. And I've created a Master's in Energy Education program at the University of Maine, and worked at Maine Audubon and worked for a solar company. Solar is my baby. I've got 150 kilowatts on our property, some of which is leased, some of which we own. And also a big aficionado of electric cars. We're on our 7th electric car. That's a quick overview.
I'm happy to go next. So, Lori, first of all, welcome to Underhill, by the way. I'm John Boyson, so I live over on Beartown Road in Underhill. We've been here about 20 years, also from the Boston area. And I am probably the one here with the least amount of energy-related experience whatsoever. I just have an interest, so I'm actually an immunologist up at UVM. And that's about it. So welcome.
Thank you.
Graham.
Graham, can you jump in? Would you just let us know who you are? I know who you are, but Lori doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Graham Chapik, reside in Underhill, Stevensville Road. Work for Sun Common, PV system design stuff there. I've been on the Energy Committee about a year in, and yeah, welcome.
Peter and Jerry, can you join in just because you're such magnificent contributors anyway?
Jerry Adams. I live on Blakey Road. We've been here since 1966. I've been on the Energy Committee since its inception. I've forgotten how long it is. From the start. I guess I have a bachelor's degree in engineering, mechanical and some electrical engineering. And I've served the town in almost every conceivable capacity. Good luck.
And refuses to quit.
Yeah, never quit.
Never quit.
Semper Fi.
So I guess my turn.
Your turn,
Yes.
Peter.
I'm Peter Bennett. I grew up in Vermont, but then went away to school. I have bachelor's and master's degree from MIT in mechanical engineering, but I never worked in anything to do with energy, which is one of my great regrets because I find it the most interesting work that I've come in contact with for my entire career. I was on the Energy Committee for 9 years and chair for 5 just before Michael has taken over very nicely. But before that, my only direct involvement with energy was I was chairman of the board of the Energy Co-op of Vermont, which is a very forward-thinking. They probably don't like to call themselves a fuel dealer, but their goal was to get people to use less and less fossil fuels all the time. And they were pioneers in the heat pump movement in Vermont. And that pretty well sums it up for me.
Well, thank you all. Lori, if you ever have any questions or anything, feel free to just sort of chime right in because it's a little difficult to raise your hand remotely. So just say something, and we'd love to hear from you as we go along. So I guess we better get back to the agenda now. Whoops, it just disappeared from my other computer here. The next thing on the agenda is to review and approve the minutes from May 10th, 2023. Has anybody had a chance to read them? Can we get them approved?
I move we approve the minutes.
Thank you. We don't require seconds in this committee, Lori. So we just go with the move it. So any discussion, modifications, or anything? Hope nobody noticed all the things that I did not get accomplished that I was supposed to, but we'll go with it. Okay. Yes.
Don Guido's going to take care of that later.
Oh yeah, well, yes, that's what I'm worried about. I locked the door already. So anyhow, hearing no discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are adopted as written. I will submit them to Amanda and get them posted. After that, committee operations, the only thing significant that I had on that was to introduce Lori, but we've already handled that under the public comment period, so I don't think we really need to do anything more with that. ARPA projects. I want to mention to everybody the ARPA projects are being considered by the select board tomorrow evening. We have a few on there. Perhaps the most relevant of them is the town hall solar that people have been talking about. Steve and I did get together and looked at what might happen, and it looks like it's not impossible as the concern was. Obviously, it has to be refined and gotten down to that. But I plan to attend that. Steve?
What Michael's saying is we did a quick site eval just to make sure that there really is space for the modules. We think there is.
So that was a concern at one point because the site is very constrained, but we did want to check it out before I go in and start spouting off tomorrow evening if necessary. Other than that, the things that we have on are lighting upgrades, the overall capacity upgrades, the generators, the emergency generators for both the town hall and the town garage. But the one kind of fundamental energy project is the solar PV at town hall. So presumably that will be voted on tomorrow evening along with a lot of other stuff. Lori, if you're interested, there are a couple of transportation projects in there, particularly sidewalks for the town in the town center area. So they are looking at kind of picking that up and running with it. Jerry, yes.
Do you know where the leach field is?
We do not know that at this point, no. But the area that Steve and I thought would be most useful for the panels themselves are basically kind of right at the edge of the parking lot. I doubt the leach field is there. Obviously, it's going to have to be identified.
No, you can tell there's a pump station, a septic tank and a pump station directly in the back.
Uh-huh.
So it would,
Oh, I thought that was a well over there. Is that so? That's actually a pump station for it.
yes,
Okay, so then it's not there.
no.
The area that Steve and I thought would be most useful is literally right along the parking, just beyond the edge of the parking lot. It's south facing. You know, the panels would be south facing. It would be one kind of long linear arrangement along there. Looks like it would be pretty effective at doing it. So I don't know if anybody is interested in coming. I wanted to report that to everybody and let you know. So
What time is it,
any
Michael?
questions? What's that, Steve?
What time is it?
I believe it's at 6. Pretty sure it's
Okay.
at 6. I'd have to check on that.
I can check the minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. I'm pretty sure it's at 6 though. So anybody interested in it, that's when it is. And I don't think Jennifer's going to be able to make it, but I plan to go. I know that hopefully we'll get that in. It looks like those funds are not affected by the, curious business of debt ceiling negotiations that went all over the place in our recent past. So it seems that we dodged the bullet on that. So any questions, further comments on that? Okay.
Do I need to
Hearing
go
none.
tomorrow?
What's that?
Do I need to go to that meeting tomorrow?
I don't believe you do, Jerry. Is there anything I need to know? I'll stand up and shout and stamp my feet for the generators and that sort of thing. Those are the ones you put together.
Yeah, Jennifer has all the information on it. But
she's not going to be there. It sounds like. So it sounds like I don't know, but I think it's the only thing that concerns me a little is I've been hearing a few rumors that somebody may be coming in. I don't know who, but there may be some move to peel off some of the funding for some other use. I know that at one point Kurt had expressed considerable dismay that certain transportation projects had not gotten on there, but that wouldn't be peeling off a little bit of funding. That would be basically wholesale diverting large quantities of it, for rebuilding a bridge or something like that.
Well, I thought all of those funds were already allocated from.
Well, the committee recommended allocating all of them, but the concern is that somebody's going to come in and ask the select board to allocate them to something other than what the committee recommended.
That's a concern.
So don't know about that. So it's up to you. And, I think our solar PV project is probably in more danger than the generators, but nonetheless, it might, I don't know whether it would be helpful or not. Always fun to sit in the back and, play with the pencils on the Group W bench with you, Jerry, but you can figure out if you want to be there or not. So, okay, any further questions or answers here? Comments? Okay, that said, I do have a piece on our thing to look at the AHA recap. We drafted a letter. One of the tasks for everyone was to get us places to send it. We got none, so I haven't sent it. I don't know whether it makes any sense to send it now because everything's gone by. I believe that was part of the override. I don't recall. Has that been part of the override session or not? Has not, right?
I don't know.
Does anyone know? Well, if people still think it's worth sending, I will certainly do it. And I have addresses for both Edie and Trevor. Those would be the obvious places to send it.
I'd say go ahead and send it. I mean, it never hurts to do a little education.
Fair enough. I will do it. So that goes in red, I guess, Steve, huh? Michael will send to Edie and Trevor. And I will endeavor to find out what.
I was just going to say, Michael, there may, as the process unfolds with that bill, and it's got a long way to go with the puck and all kinds of work that has to be done. You may see other opportunities down the way and other people who could be influential that we might want to send it to later on.
Fair enough. If everybody will just keep tabs on that, keep your eye out for any of that. I will endeavor to make sure that it gets to whomever we decide needs to get it as well. It's, the same letter is available. Lori, I should tell you that we have a Google Drive where information is available. If you say you're interested in committee stuff in greater detail, we can arrange to get you access to it, so you can see what's there, and kind of join in any discussions we have. So just let us know if you decide you want to do something like that, because that's where all of these things live. These minutes, the agendas are there, various documents that we put together all live on a Google Drive that Steve set up for us. So, and we try to do the work there. My kitten here, who's kind of past kitten, is trying to tell me that I'm late getting him supper. So
Is there did we want to just limit this to our local representatives, or I mean, there's a list of sponsors of the bill.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestion.
And I don't know, but I think that information is available if we want to send it more widely.
Yeah, does anybody have any thoughts on that? Should we look at this? I thought it was a good way to look at it.
I think that Graham is very much on the ball with that idea. Whether or not this is the time to do it, to send something to them, but you've got the people in the Senate, at least our senators from Chittenden County, but I think also the senators who were really behind this bill, like I think his name is Chris Bray. He's out of Middlebury. But again, I think it would be a question of the best timing.
Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I'd suggest we wait until there's more activity.
But we should go ahead and send it to Trevor and Edie now. Yeah, now, right? Gotcha. So I will go ahead and do that. If everybody could sort of keep their eyes peeled for that sort of thing, that would be great. And we'll just plan to go with that. Okay. Any further discussion on this? No. Okay. I did want to talk about the pre-audit program a little bit. I had hoped that Dwight would be here to fill us in a little bit more, but we've got John, so we'll go with that.
Sure.
John, can you tell us where things are? Do we need any more training? I will say that Catherine McMains over in Jericho has requested us to train them up, and Dwight had said he wanted to do a little bit more here first. I was wondering what the status of a little bit more here is, or do we want to train up any more of us as sort of tag along and participate in that?
Well, we can. Well, let's start with we had so Michael sent out on Front Porch Forum. It's about a month ago now, Michael.
Pretty close, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, our first announcement. As far as I know, we got one response back. We actually had a schedule for this last weekend, but then the person we were scheduling with didn't get back to Dwight to confirm, and so we kind of, that's how we left it. So Dwight was trying to contact the person, and we'll try to reschedule. So we've had one response. Here I was worried that we would get deluged with responses for this sort of thing, but so far in a month or 2 months, we've had one person actually respond. So it might be a good idea. really if we send out another front porch forum. It couldn't
Announcement.
hurt, announcement. So
Yep.
that's where we're at with that. As far as training members, I'm sure that Dwight and I can speak for Dwight, the more the merrier. So if anyone wants to, get trained, just let us know, and then we can, we'll set something up. For the most part, this is going to happen on the weekends, probably some weekend mornings.
Yep.
And so that's what you're looking at if you want to volunteer. And probably once we're there, this is going to be about, I don't know. Each visit we're predicting would be 1.5 to 2 hours. We had thought if we had a lot of people, we would try to bang out 2 or 3 of these in the morning, and early afternoon, and so we'll see what that's all about. So, and as far as training other people in Jericho, I guess I'm not sure maybe what Dwight was thinking. I mean, we're already sort of set to go with this, so I think we're more than happy to go ahead and train people from Jericho as well. So, unless yeah, I don't see what the issue would be, but there could be something that I'm not aware of that Dwight was thinking.
Yeah, that was what, when I asked him about that, he said he was interested in, I think he kind of just wants to actually do 1 or 2 of them and get it under our belts before we go, roping other people in. But, with the equipment and that sort of thing, I think it makes a certain amount of sense to potentially make it available to folks in Jericho too. We share a lot on these things. So.
And honestly, I can speak for myself, that, if people here, even if someone here doesn't want to get trained, it might not be a bad idea, but if you want your house assessed and you want to evaluate how Dwight and I are doing it, we could do that too, because honestly, I think it would keep us a little in practice. I mean, if we're doing this once every 4 months, I know for me, I'm going to have to learn everything all over again. So it would be actually helpful the more we do this. So,
well, I think I would like ours done. So let me see if I have to get my wife engaged in this, but can't do it without her. She just decamped for Massachusetts this afternoon, so I'll have to wait to sign up for that. But yeah, I think we would like to do that too.
Yeah.
So, Lori, you probably do not know. Yeah, John, do you want to just lay out mention to Lori what the program is?
Oh yeah, sorry, Lori. So what we're trying to do is to provide a weatherization pre-audit. So Dwight DeCosta, who's not here, is the director of Champlain Valley Weatherization Services, and who basically go in and weatherize different folks' houses all around Chittenden County. So I think the Energy Committee, we have a blower door, and we bought an infrared camera. And so the idea, partly to sort of raise people's, sort of get their attention to this issue about weatherization, we're providing a free pre-audit. So we'll go to their house, we'll assess their air leakiness, do a blower door test, use the infrared camera to identify heat loss and that sort of thing. And at the end, provide them with some sort of a measure of their home's weatherization sort of grade, if you will. And then we'll go ahead and try to provide them with some information as to how to go forward. Whether they should probably get an official blower door test, with some, whether they need help with financing, that sort of thing. Make some suggestions. So that's pretty much it. We're calling it a pre-audit because we're not certified, and we don't want to give anyone the idea that they're getting sort of an official sort of sign off on this, but hopefully it will raise people's awareness about weatherizing their homes.
Thank you.
Well, John,
Yeah.
yeah, this is Jerry. Don't leave me out.
All right.
I like to crawl around in people's cellars.
All right, Jerry, you're in.
Okay.
And
We'll
you're
figure out what
definitely
it's going on.
you're definitely the guy we'll go to for crawl spaces and anything like that. So guaranteed.
I have
Happy
been
to
there.
do that.
Sounds good. Okay, any further thoughts or questions or comments on this one? Peter?
Quick comment, John, I'm not sure what you may run into with the folks who sign up for this, but as you may have seen, there's been quite a controversy raised in the press about foam, and it was written for Vermont Digger, and oddly enough, I feel I have to say this, it was written by someone who's mainly writes articles for Glamour and Vogue magazine, but Vermont Digger has made the choice to run it again and again and again, and it's got a rather interesting byline. That the headline is, "I cried my eyes out." I'm paraphrasing, when I heard about this foam, and I think it's been misleading, and I think that and I spoke briefly to Dwight the other day about this. I'm sure that you guys can come up with a sensible answer to people should this issue arise with any of your auditees, shall we say.
Yeah.
And maybe someday the Energy Committee has got to discuss it further.
Yeah. And Peter, that's just the sort of thing where, I feel like it's important that we don't, in this particular instance, Dwight and I, when we're in someone's home, that we point them to different sources of information, but not really take a strong stand either way. And that's what I mean by the pre-audit sort of thing. Because Dwight may have a different view on this, but I sort of feel like, you know what I mean? We should provide a balanced view, let's say.
I think you're dead on with that, John. It's exactly what you guys ought to do. But it may, I don't think it would have surprised Dwight, but maybe he may, and you may come up with sort of what your approach will be if somebody who's getting an pre-audit should bring it up.
Yeah, thanks.
Great, thanks, Peter. Okay, we set on that? Great. Moving right along, I don't think we have any actions that we need to take there. I wanted to talk about the committee initiatives. I thought I'd be picking it up about 5:30. I understood that Nick would be joining us. Nick has told me that he will be leaving as our planner, having just arrived. He is now just departing. I guess tomorrow is his last day. So, however, he approached me a while back and suggested that it would be useful. He would like to do something with bikes and to link up with locomotion. And as you all are probably aware, we have had a pretty poor track record with locomotion in the past. 2 years ago, we tried to engage them in an e-bike arrangement at the Harvest Market, and they just kind of dropped us off the edge of the map, so that it just kind of went away. The person who was handling it left, and we were left kind of with nothing to show for it. Then last year we came back and we thought we were very much on track and got as far as reserving space at both the Browns River Middle School and the market itself to use for e-bike commuting and that sort of thing, only to find out that locomotion had dropped us on that one too. So 1 week before Harvest Market, we got kind of dropped on that one. So the question was, is it 3 strikes and you're out, or a third time's the charm, I guess is the question. Nick had suggested that locomotion has a very extensive program. He referred to it as bike valet, in which they assist in parking bikes and that sort of thing. And bikes, of course, are are a very useful tool for getting around, and especially in places like Underhill, for not always for us old fogies, but for a lot of folks, where distances are greater than walking can cover very much of them during part of the time, biking can provide a meaningful alternative to actually getting around. So raising awareness and that sort of thing is a good idea. So I had thought that it would be something worth pursuing. He suggested that I'm trying to recall what our discussion had been. He had suggested that we might look at either or both of seeing if Local Motion would handle bike valet services at the harvest market. In other words, people would just be able to ride their own bikes, and the bike valet service would handle managing the bikes while they're there, and or doing what he referred to as a bike night at the farmers market for part of our regular farmers market activities. Both of those sounded kind of interesting, and maybe at the farmers market one, trying to pull together an e-bike kind of demo associated with that, not an actual commuter thing, but so combine doing a whole kind of bike night at the farmers market. I've mentioned it to Elizabeth King, and also to Catherine McMains over in Jericho, and there's some interest in pursuing this for August, our August visit to the farmers market. And I wanted to see if anyone had any thoughts with that. I'll just combine this with the next one. We are basically scheduled for we're going to decided to pick up our farmers market presence again this year. The first time out would be the 22nd, which would be, I guess, next week. Looks like we're good for that. If anybody can join me there to march around and look like we're doing energy things, have some minor demonstration pieces, that kind of thing, literature to hand out, and just solar fountains, that kind of thing, and see if we can get back to doing that. And also I'm sorry?
Do we have
Steve?
brochures or whatnot?
Well, we have all the material that we had for last year.
you got
The
enough.
EV stuff. What's that?
So you have enough.
I do have enough, yes. I have plenty for that. Now, the only thing that might be relevant there is I'll check with Dave Roberts to make sure that we have the most current, because there's a lot of new stuff on the EV end. Maybe Lori wants to join in on this one, chime in on this one too, but make sure that we have the latest of the EV literature. But most of it is just kind of semi-technical details on weatherization and solar PV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that we need anything there, and our little brochure about what we do and that sort of thing. So I do believe we have enough of that, and Jerry was always there to entertain everybody that came by. So we'll see if we can rope him into it again this year. But I have spoken with Catherine about using their tent and table, so far it looks like we'll be able to do that. And I need to confirm with Elizabeth that we're actually going to be there, but I have basically set that up for the 22nd and asked to reserve it. So with that said, I open it for discussion.
I'm sorry, did you mention the July 13th one?
Yes, I did. I thought I did. If not, at that one, that would definitely be joined with Jericho. And Catherine has also asked if it would be possible to bring our blower door down. That was a big attraction when it showed up that time before. Everybody loved that. Everybody said, "What's that big red thing over there?" And wanted to come see what it was. And we got lots of people coming when that was there. Dwight said he would not be able to be available for that. So if we can get any resource, maybe somebody can train one of us up on more about it, and so we would be more able to talk about it. But I know Dwight was always the one who talked a lot about that, but he said he could get it there for us.
I won't be able to make those either, Mike. Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, I hear you. You're a real person with a real job. My God, how do we find these? I don't know.
It's just
Any thoughts or comments? Are we pursuing it? I'm going ahead unless I hear otherwise. But any ideas for demonstrations? Essie bought a little one of those mini electric chainsaws. I thought Jerry always objects to chainsaws, but I thought maybe we could cut little rounds off a little cherry log or something and give people coasters to take home that we cut with an mini electric chainsaw. I don't know. Open to thoughts about what things we can do and activities we can do to make things more interesting for folks. I'll see if I can get Essie to lend us her rocks again. Lots of kids came over and wanted to find out how to buy her rocks.
I mean, it
Questions,
seems like you
comments?
guys seems like you got okay traffic the last time. I just go with what you were doing last time.
It did kind of build over the course of the summer. We got a little bit more elaborate, and I think people got used to the idea that we were there. So that's one of the reasons I'm interested in going back again this year. But, the more we can think of, the more, great ideas, I think so much the better. So what do you think about the bike ideas? Is that something we should be pursuing? Anybody want to pick up and run with that? Or, I mean, I'll run with it if no one else does, but I wouldn't mind either help or um, something on that. Good idea? Bad idea? Go home and think about something else?
Does
Not a
anyone
bad
have an
idea.
electric bike to bring?
Lori, please jump in.
Oh, I was just asking if anyone had an electric bike to bring.
There are electric bikes around. Who is it that? Oh, that was Nick who said he was going to bring his. But I know a few, and at the time, one of the components had been that Local Motion has a quote unquote lending library of electric bikes. So at the time, they had offered us 3 of their own different types, things like a cargo bike and a this bike and just a regular standard bike. So if they were interested in actually doing a demo and bringing some of their materials out, I think that would add a lot to it.
Well, it seems like a good idea. I don't see a lot of people offering to help out, so it's really up to you, Michael. And I would suggest that if you can get Nick to do it, then because you have so much on your plate, I hesitate to see you do another thing.
Well, I just think it would be a good thing, and Nick would be gone. He's going to South Burlington.
But he's
Nick
going to
is gone
still live in
tomorrow.
this area.
What's that?
He'll still live in this area, right?
As far as I know, I don't even know where he lives now. I don't know whether he lives here or not.
Good question. I don't know either.
He didn't stay here very long, so if he wouldn't have had a chance to move here after he got the job. Well, I will see what I can do. I'll at least look into it, and we can make a final decision at our July meeting. I'll try to get us some information, and maybe Nick can help me do that, even
Sounds
from
good.
afar. So, okay. That's what we're doing then, as far as I'm concerned. That said, there's the harvest market piece. I assume that if we're roping Local Motion into this, we can look into them possibly doing it at harvest market as well. I feel pretty confident that Kathy can get us squared away with them if we need to. I know her husband Bill is on the committee that runs the whole bloody thing, so she's been pretty good at getting in touch with everyone there. So okay, we done on that one? I will pursue that. You can put me down in red on that, Steve.
Okay.
I think, if you would. I'm not sure under which one. Pick one. I will pursue bikes and bike nights, and I will also at least get the thing set up on the 22nd and figure out how we're going to get staffed on the 13th. I will plan to attend all of those unless somebody wants to spell me on one of them. We'll see how that goes. So So that said, do we have any more discussion on our outreach program at this point? Basically going to markets and marching around like we actually know what we're talking about. Okay, that said, we can move on to the next item.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Steve.
Let me just do this. So did you talk about the EV event?
Oh, no, I did not talk about the EV event. I'm sorry. I totally skipped over that one. The EV event is scheduled for the 29th, this coming Thursday, at BRMS and DRML. There's going to be, hopefully we'll be able to scare up. I don't know, and unfortunately Ravi is not here. I never heard anything from Ravi because he's been in touch with GMP. They were instrumental, I think, in scaring up a lot of the sources. But I know we can at least have Steve's. So anybody with EVs who wants to show up and show off their EVs, and I believe GMP will be doing it. I will be in touch with Ravi about that. And then Dave and someone from GMP, I've been in touch with Dave Roberts. Ravi's been handling the GMP link up. We'll be doing a brief presentation and a Q&A at the library. I think we'll be starting at 4. People, just sort of hanging out, looking at cars, getting information and talking around and having a good old time. And then at 5:30, we'll open up a thing in the library scheduled to go to 6:30 or a little later if there are a lot of people with a lot of questions. But people can discuss things like range and availability of charging and availability of vehicles and maintenance issues and everything else. And both Dave and GMP will be there, not to mention Steve, who probably knows more about it than almost anybody going. So, and I don't know whether Lori, we can talk Lori into it too. She probably knows a great deal about it too. So, anyway, that's what it is. Jerry.
You lost me. This is at 4 o'clock on the 29th.
Yes, that's right. Same as we did last year. Basically,
Oh, yeah.
except we're adding an indoor session at the library for people to be able to sort of get together and sort of Q&A and have a brief presentation from, I think Dave Roberts is going to do it, and Q&A and that sort of thing. Yes. Jerry, did you want to say something there? Oh, I said he's gone. He's gone. He's gone mute there. There he is.
I'm here.
Okay, great. It looked like you had something else you wanted to add there. Did you?
No, I just interested in it. But I missed whatever it is, the announcement about it.
Well, what can I say? If I could have failed to get it out fully. It's been a lot of emails flying back and forth between Ravi and Catherine and me and Dave Roberts and GMP and library and the school, sort of pulling everything together. I thought I'd put it out, but perhaps I did not.
So
I know we
has it
talked
planned?
about it. What's that,
Have you
Steve?
got a plan? Have you got a plan for publicity?
I do not. I was just planning basically front porch forum stuff. Was
So
what
someone, are you going to write a short article, or who's going to do it?
I'll do it. I'm sure. Either that or we'll steal the Jericho one. I think maybe the 2 announcements of this, one like a week ahead and one a little bit closer, would probably be worthwhile.
Okay, we good?
I'm good. Anybody else? Okay, let's see. Oh, we're a little bit behind, but that's all right. Next item up is the solar discussion. When Steve and I were out in the, looking at town hall PV and that sort of thing, we thought it would be worthwhile, instead of trying to get together our subcommittee, which is Steve and me and Graham and Robbie, I guess, right? Is their subcommittee? And posting a special meeting. Since it's four of us, we have to post it to avoid the open meeting, to satisfy open meeting law. We could just devote some time to talking about it now and get everybody else's input at the same time. So that said, we wanted to talk a little bit about how we might put together our solar program to pursue. I don't know, Steve, did you want to say anything about that? Should I just blather on as I've been doing, or?
Well, I'm thinking that what we need to do is just pick one thing to focus on. And I think the thing to focus on is 150 kW arrays on farmland or any open land that we can get. It seems like we could talk to, all the major players, Nord Solar, Suncommon, et cetera, and see if anybody has a off-the-shelf package that they could market, that we could help them market, so that we could get some solar installed. What I don't know is, I haven't cranked through the numbers. I don't have a sense of whether it still makes economic sense to do that. I think it must. But we don't have the preferred siting benefit, but it's still,
We can get it.
that's true.
It's not preferred siting is we can it does have to get added to the town plan, but I've already mentioned to Sandy Wilmot on planning, and I think we can, there's nothing that says that we couldn't get that added. So if we can contact people and go for adding preferred siting to it. Now that said, also, I don't know if anybody but me has been noticing, but they're running three-phase power up River Road. So we would not be limited to 150 kW.
Right.
Along, at least in that. And there's a lot of land that's just sitting there, nobody's doing anything with. It's basically just, it doesn't seem to be hayed, it doesn't seem to be grazed, and it's certainly not tilled. So there's a lot of opportunity, at least within that corridor, for solar if we want to pursue it. Now, obviously, we would need to identify landowners and be able to get in touch with people and that sort of thing associated with it. And but I don't see any need to locate to try to do limit it to 150 under the circumstances. The other question I have is, does it make any sense? Well, a couple of things. Does it make any sense to get in touch with people, maybe like the Peacham folks, who tried to put together a CSA? I know that the Heinsberg one was a complete bust, or so it seems. Should we be looking at it as a CSA opportunity? Because we won't be able to net meter it. There's nobody to take the power directly, as far as I.
This is why I'd like to talk to, all of those different organizations that have done these kinds of things. I don't think we want to get into doing a CSA. I don't think we want to manage that.
Right.
But if we can find somebody that comes in, with a, just ready to go system and just needs a place to put it, that's something I think would be fairly easy for us to do.
And would that then be sold to GMP?
Could be, or it could be that we could. I mean, we would need to explore that, but I think the first thing is to see if we've got anybody that's even interested.
Yeah.
I mean, in my case, well, how much of it? 118 kilowatts of our arrays, we were just approached. Well, actually, I approached them, but basically, Encore Renewables just came in and said, "Here's a package. We'll install it. We'll take care of all the legal work. You'll get X number of dollars per year for a lease. There you go."
Okay. Sounds reasonable to me. What do people think? Graham, you know more about this than any of us. Well, Steve knows a lot, obviously, but you've got some familiarity with all of this, and you're the other piece of our subcommittee.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lori,
I was just asking, are you trying to do community solar? Is that what you're trying to do?
well, that's part of the question. Whether we want to try to go with a formal CSA or just try to sell it back to the power company.
Or it could, certainly just supply the farm if we find a farm or somebody's got a need for it.
Do you have a location yet? Sorry.
No, we do not.
Okay. So you're just kind of just trying to figure out like how to add more solar in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, could I just ask a quick question? Sorry, Graham. Is there any room if the at the gravel pit, if the power lines were upgraded? I'm just wondering.
At the gravel
I
pit,
believe there is, Steve.
it's potential, but we've used most of the site that they want us to make available to us. But I doubt three-phase is going to run up that road.
I would be surprised too. But I don't
Yeah,
know why they're bringing it up River Road at all.
Michael, where did you hear that these poles that were going in had to do with three-phase?
I didn't hear. I looked. They're putting They're wiring 3 insulators on top of them, coming up They're down by the cemetery.
At one time, the range wanted the 3-phase power, so maybe that's what they're after.
That could be.
But if you get increased demand, adding another phase is probably a more economical way of increasing the utility's capacity rather than raising the voltage.
Well, they're obviously bringing 3-phase power up, and my guess is, I mean, they've got poles hanging out all up River Road, and the ones that they've installed and started to wire down by the cemetery are being wired for 3-phase. They look like fairly high voltage insulators, and they got 3 of them on top, and there's wires running between them.
Well, isn't there three-phase there already?
Nope,
No, there
that's
was
new.
2.
2-phase. God only knows what that is, but
At one time, the range wanted 3-phase, but it was too expensive.
they may be bringing it up for the range. But I mean, it seems crazy that they would be putting in all these new poles and wiring. I mean, what would they be doing? Wiring 3-phase to Chamberlain's or something for some reason? It doesn't seem plausible.
Who do you know at Green Mountain Power?
I don't. Ravi knows all those folks. I was going to ask him about it, but obviously he's not around. So
Well, I think it'd be a good idea to have him go straight to Green Mountain Power and say, what's going on? Where are you taking this? Is it three-phase power? I assumed when I saw those poles going in that it was just time to
replace the pole.
swap out those old poles, half
Right.
of which are hanging over at 45-degree angles.
Well, not quite
So,
45.
no, I'm exaggerating to make a point. But I think it could be worthwhile if somebody got
that's
the straight poop.
Yep, I had assumed that too until I saw the 3 insulators wired in and down below on the new poles coming up, and it's only gone like 2 or 3 poles worth, but they're definitely 3-phase wired up there. So, how are we going?
Why don't we assign that task to Ravi to talk to GMP? And
That
hopefully
sounds
he can
good.
do it.
Yep, Robbie, say we'll put that in red on there. I'll
I
get in
did.
touch with him. He'll learn not to show up. So that sounds reasonable. Is it worth communicating with someplace like the Peachum group to see what was involved with them, or is that just completely off the table?
You're talking about a CSA?
That's CSA they did, right?
I'd rather start and see if we can get, what's that term? A turnkey set system that we can just go to people and say, here it is, here's your package. This is
Yep.
what we'll do, or this is what the company will do. They'll install it, they'll take care of legal stuff. You'll get paid X number of dollars per year.
Kind of like the folks out in Texas putting windmills on their land or something, huh?
Exactly. Because I think we can have more bang for the buck if we focus on 150 kW and up.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, that was the Peachum was 150.
Yes.
That,
But I mean, this is rather than go to individuals.
yeah.
I think we should do individuals.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds good. Who's going to do that?
I would volunteer to talk to some of these developers.
Would you?
Yep.
That would be great if you would do it.
Yep.
So Steve will contact some of them, and Robbie will talk to GMP about both the three-phase power and also opportunities for selling power to them. Does anybody know what Jericho does? I mean, obviously, even if they net meter it, they're selling. I mean, they're not net metering it. They've got like 2 megs or something, don't they?
I think they do have 2 megs.
One of my colleagues lives in Jericho.
Yep.
So I don't know. I could probably reach out to her and ask her
That would be.
what's the yeah, I'm sure she would know. What's the background on that, just so I don't sound completely clueless.
Well, Jericho has a large array over on their at their town garage. I think it's
Okay.
about 2 megs. And obviously they aren't net metering that. So the question is, what kind of arrangement? Who are they selling it to? What kind of arrangement do they have, and how do they get it?
And who do they work with?
Okay.
Yeah, if you would be Lori, if you would be willing to do that, that would be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I'll shoot her an email. I've been meaning to anyways.
Well, there you go. That's great.
Yeah.
Catherine McBain's is involved in that thing.
Oh, I'm sure she was. Yeah. So, yeah. But if Lori is willing to carry that ball briefly, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Great. So that's basically our solar program. Does it sound reasonable? We're looking for opportunities and looking for partners to see if we can locate medium to large scale arrays around, and probably with an emphasis on the River Road corridor. Should someone
place to start.
What's that?
I think it's a place to start. I don't think that everything.
Should someone, I'm willing to tackle some of it, try to pull together lists of owners and property owners down there to think about where we're, people we might want to be contacting once we get some information.
That'd be great.
Okay. Put MO down for that.
Hey, Michael, I was going to just chime in, and if I'd be happy to just take over for Robbie on the 3-phase question on River Road.
Would you?
And just,
Great.
I can quickly try to get a hold of the distribution engineer for the area and see what the details are there.
Great, thank you.
That way, just there'll be.
It's always better to have somebody volunteering who actually knows he's volunteering. I feel more confident under the circumstance.
Michael, this is John.
Yes.
Hey, just wondering, do you have an easy way to find out the landowners?
I believe I do, but
Okay.
I'm going to need to work this through with Steve and some GIS stuff.
Okay,
the
I
parcel
was just
viewer
saying,
website.
I just have an app that actually has all the taxpayer IDs, and you can just look on a map and just figure out who owns what. So if that's helpful at all, I can point you to it.
Yes.
Yes, I
Actually,
like,
I've been looking for that app.
Yeah,
A friend of mine has it, and I don't know what it is. I want to know, but I
yeah,
do want to
okay.
link it up.
I have it on my iPad at home, so I'll send it to you
Yeah,
guys tonight when I get home.
great.
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
do want to ultimately link it up with the parcel boundaries and the underlying,
Parcel viewer.
the Google Earth photo, air
Yeah.
photos, satellite photo stuff, so we can get a sense of how that works too. But that the getting the easy access to that would be great.
All right, great.
Thank you.
it's an iPhone app.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. I'm not. It may work on other. That's what I have it. That's what I have it on my iPad. But I can look
Okay.
up and see what kind of formats it comes in. Can't remember the name
Great.
of it offhand.
No, a friend of mine had it on his Android, and I said, "Where did you get that?" He said, "Oh, he just had it." I thought it was maybe a Google layer. I've been looking for Google layers that have it, and couldn't find them. I mean, I'm sure I can find the, link the database from town, but this makes it easy.
I got it. It's maps.vcgi.vermont.gov, and it's called a parcel viewer.
Oh, VCGI does it, huh? Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's a different thing, but that's what we've been using to get the data from.
Right.
Yeah, mine is different than that, but not saying it's better or worse.
Yep. Great.
Works for
I
me.
might take two of them. I've been trying to avoid going back to being a GIS maven, but I may not be able to avoid it for much longer. I have some other uses for it at the same time. So,
Okay,
um,
can we move on?
yes, we can move on. We have a thing for member items. I don't know if any members have any items that I once threatened to do that, and I would offer for anybody who wants to bring anything up whatsoever, any great meetings or webinars that we should know about, or fancy new things. I'm reading about high density batteries and that sort of thing. And anybody got anything they want to tell us about or bring up?
Yeah,
Jerry.
I got some. A friend of mine built a real high-tech house out in the islands, and he had an air source heat pump. It's a hybrid system with an air source heat pump and a propane backup. It's all in one
Ah,
system. It's ducted as well.
well, that sounds good. Now, Dwight was saying he was looking into some of those, and I wasn't sure because I mean that's always been the big question. What do you do about the 20 below days, of which we're having like an average of what did I figure out for that thing, about 7 hours a year or something like that? The things wouldn't work, but
Yeah, so I
no,
looked it up. I looked it up. A Train was one of the companies that was offering something like that.
that could be very helpful to know. I would like to know about that myself.
Yeah,
Um, is it worth including in the minutes?
Okay.
sure. Hey, Jared, do you like Gerry or Jerry?
Do I have what?
Do you like Gerry or Jerry?
Jerry. Doesn't
All
matter.
right.
It all gets to me.
Yep. So you'll get us some info on that.
Pardon me?
You're going to get us some info on that system you just described.
Well, I don't see this guy very often, and the downside of it is the Vermont contact that helped install it or whatever went out of business. The nearest dealer for the system is in Long Island, but I think I have his email address. I can ask him about it.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great. That is the thing that most people seem to worry about the systems. It's like, what do we do for those few very super cold nights?
But this system is very sophisticated because it's modulated both for the air conditioning system or the air source heat point system, the heating system and the air conditioning system are modulated. So it makes it a pretty complicated system.
What does
This
it mean
guy's
to be modulated?
pardon me?
What does it mean for a heat pump to be modulated?
Well, the heat pumps are generally modulated. I don't know how they do it, but they're a little more than just an on and off system.
This is something about heat pump technology that I did not know. So anything, yeah, any information or direction, just a website or anything even that we could
Yeah,
take a look at would be very helpful.
because he gave me a name that didn't ring a bell.
Uh-huh. But you said it was Train. It's not Train?
Train I got off the internet.
Oh, okay. Because Dwight had talked about something that his group had been looking into as well. So maybe we can get some information from him too. Talking about some kind of, I think he was talking about a natural gas backup system for it.
Well, this friend of mine's out in the islands where they don't have natural gas, so he uses propane.
Right. Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
deal.
Right. Same basic idea. Great. Do we have anything else? Hearing nothing.
I move we adjourn.
Um,
Oh no, we got to do agenda.
yeah, and then anything for the agenda for next meeting besides what is we've got listed on here in red?
How often are the meetings?
I'm sorry, Lori, I did.
I was just wondering, how often do you meet?
We meet once a month,
Okay.
the second Wednesday of every month. We have been meeting 5 to 6:30. We try to confine our meetings to 1.5 hours. If you decided you wanted to join and could not make 5, I think I could talk other people into considering 5:30, but I would need to talk with them obviously before that. If you are interested in joining, I'd be glad to chat with you and more if you want. You should let us know. I'll bring it to this committee. We need to get you approved by the select board. They do need to approve every member, so that's fine, but I can't imagine there would be any problem with that unless you've got some secret, really, really wild past that throw people off or something. But then, and I don't know how they'd find out about it anyway, since I don't think anybody does any investigations. So, just if you feel like chatting more, that's fine. If not, that's fine. Just let us know what you want to do. Like I said, I think, and anybody can chime in and say otherwise if you believe so, but I think that people would be willing to make some accommodations if you had a schedule that required some modest changes. The 5 to 6:30 time has been reasonably convenient, especially since we've been meeting mostly online, entirely online actually, and people can be from wherever they are. I mean, John is at work, I guess, or something like that, and so people can join in from work or wherever they are. So, but anyway, just please, and again, feel free to chat. I don't know if you have my phone number. If you want it, I can get that for you and communicate. You have my email though, so let me know if you want anything or want to talk any further. And feel free to talk to any of the other members. Yep.
Okay. Oh, I was just going to say
Great.
the next meeting, the e-bike program would have launched by then. So if you wanted me to go over that, I could.
That would be great. If you would, yeah, we could Lori will review the e-bike program that she's working on for the next meeting. Can we get that on the agenda?
Yep. So it's supposed to launch on the 27th, but that's just a tentative date, depending on, I think we're waiting for the budget to still pass.
Yep.
Is what I can understand.
Yep. So we can find out. So, but our next meeting is what? It doesn't show up on here. We've scheduled it as like is it the 12th? I think it is July 12th.
Is
Because the
it always the
13th is
second?
always the second Wednesday.
Okay.
So that would be our next meeting.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. Wow, it'd be great to have you here, and let us know if you're interested, and we'll pursue. Obviously we want to. The committee will want to. I have to check with the committee, but I doubt there would be serious problems with you joining us if you would like to. I can't imagine, to be blunt. But so great. Is there anything else we need to have covered? Wow, we're going to get out of here 5 minutes early despite everything else. Okay, that said, we've covered everything we're supposed to cover. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, John, yes. That's not discussable. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Lori, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yep.
I hope you